Ken Bruce from Dirt Track Digest. I'm here with Chris Moore, announcer and recently promoted to parking lot attendant. Chris Moore.
That was good, Kenny. That was good.
So, Chris, what do you think there? That was a hell of a feature, man. 100 laps, non-stop, not non-stop, but back and forth, cars up, down. It was amazing.
Well, the one thing I was going to say, if you'd have just stopped that was a hell of a feature, I would have said which one.
Yeah,
I mean, the night all around was awesome, but the modifieds was just crazy. It was a little slippery in the beginning. You know, Ryan Creighton had a little incident and ended up talking to our eventual winner. I'll let you tell everybody who won if they don't know yet. But and he said I was just trying to take my time in the beginning, and all of a sudden the young man came to life. But it was everywhere there was racing. Me and Jeff, I mean, the best racing on the track was 15, 16, 17, 18 because they're four wide going into turn one, and it was so much to keep up with. But this is one of the best racetracks if at least the Northeast. I don't care what anybody says. This place has already established itself. The racing here is unbelievable, and it was again tonight.
Yeah, I've seen many 100-lap features in my life here going to races, but that was one of the most exciting ones I've seen. And like Chris said, we had winner was 16-year-old Alex Yankowski coming from 23rd, I think, 23rd spot, and he made it spectacular at the end there. Not often do you win a big race for $10,000 and then flip your car at the start-finish line and catch fire, but either way, the kid put on a hell of a show.
Well, the thing is, too, he flipped at the finish line the lap after the checkered. He had already taken the checkered. The race was already over. And I'm sure it made victory lane a little bit bittersweet, a little bit awkward, you know. But it was cool to have him get up on the little podium under the flag stand right in front of the fans. And the fans loved that he won. Our top two, because Ryan Watt finished second, I think our top two would have had a great reaction from the crowd either way. I think a lot of people were happy to just see Alex win the race, and it was really cool to be a part of that. I've had the fortune now being a part of two great long-distance races. A lot of people said Port Royal was one of the best 200-lap races they've seen. I think this has got to go down as, racing's been around a long time, but this has got to be one of the better 100-lappers there's been. It was truly great to just watch Alex. I talked to him, he got to 8th. There was one restart, and all of a sudden you're like, hey, that kid's 8th. And then the next restart, oh, he's 5th. And then he made the big move on that restart to get to 2nd and worked on Godown and got by him, and Waddy caught him. And Alex, quite frankly, Alex was better than him in lap traffic. I mean, Alex outdrove Ryan Watt in lap traffic and won the race. It was like you say, it was unbelievable. It really was.
Yeah. I thought the big move for Alex was when he split them 4 cars in between. It was like, wow, he just went for it, and that car was on a rail, and once he got through them 4 cars, Watt had a hard time getting through him, and then Watt was catching him at the end a little bit, but he would have needed about 10 more laps and a caution, I think, to get him.
Yeah, I think Alex being here all year, that gave him some help just to have the experience. But the kid has shown time and time again this year there's no fear. The last points race here, him, Matt Stengel, and Billy Pouch are in an absolute dogfight for second. And I'm watching Yankowski and Stengel. Stengel's 21, Yankowski's 16. I thought he just turned 17. I don't know. Either way, he's younger than I am, younger than us. And, I mean, he's out there just flat out duking it out with Billy Pouch, just doesn't care. He's got no fear, and he didn't again tonight, and it paid off for him.
Yeah, I've had the pleasure to watch Alex at Big Diamond all season long, and he just two wins there, yeah. And even as a sportsman driver, and he was 14, 12, 13, whatever he was, he just dominated the veterans, and he's just progressing year after year. He gets better and better. They switch cars in the middle of the year from Hig Fabs to Bicknells, and that seemed to really propel him to where he's at now.
There's been quite a few guys that have switched and propelled when they went into Bicknells. Credit to Brian Godown, who was from 25th to the lead. I think he ended up 3rd, but in a DKM. So Ryan was very, very good tonight. Alex actually ended up wrestling the lead away from him, and I thought that proved something because Godown came from the 25th to the front. He's been one of the fastest cars here all year long. And Alex, again, just outdrove, had the better race car, I think, at that point in the race. But Alex, he was the best. Quite frankly, he was the best race car driver tonight, which is truly unbelievable for him to be the age that he is because he was awesome.
Yeah, I know. It was unbelievable. I talked to Ryan Godown afterwards, and Ryan said that kid ran a hell of a race. And, Ryan said his front tire wore out a little bit, and he had a hard time. But he said he had nothing. He said Yankowski was the class of the field there towards the end of the race.
Yeah. And that's again, and credit to Alex, the young man. He's got it in his mind too, because the first thing he said in Victory Lane was credit to my crew guys for the way they put the race car together, because it really did come to life. And I remember too at Port Royal in the 200 lapper, all of a sudden, he led, he started on the pole, led her in the early going, kind of faded, almost went a lap down at one point. And then I remember 20 laps to go, the kid was back in the top 10. And I mean, that's a 200 lap, that was a huge race. This is a big race. That was huge. And here's this kid, last 30 laps, he's running in the top 10. I mean, he's really progressed in a way. I think he's going to be one of these guys where these long distance races are really going to play in his hand, because he was awesome again tonight.
No, absolutely. And like you say, Yankowski was your winner. Ryan Watt was second. Ryan Godown third. Danny Buck fourth. Jeff Strunk fifth. And Frank Cozy came up and finished sixth at the end. So Ryan Watt was, he was there. He was there, but he just didn't quite have that enough. And like you say, Alex got through lap traffic faster. Godown coming from the back. Comes in. Danny Buck ran a steady race all race. Just hung in the top five. Didn't quite have that car he needed to win, but he just hung in the top five all night. And Strunk the same way. He was in the top 10 all night. He came on a little bit at the end, but all in all, it was a fantastic race. And just watching these guys do slide job after slide job, and it's just unbelievable the way this track plays out.
And another guy, too, that was very good was Dwayne Howard. He'd never been here before the Danny weekend, was up to third, was by Ryan Watt. I think Godown got by him, but Dwayne was in the top three and starting to come forward. And they got the right rear flat, and I don't know if something else happened or what but he ended up going to the pits and didn't return. But yeah, it was. I love the long distance races. I really do, because you get to see the way things change, and they changed tonight with Godown marching in the front. Danny Buck was the leader at about the halfway point, but like you said, you could tell it wasn't going to last. I mean, he was really fighting it. Joe Watson led early, so it was just great to see the way that things changed, and the guy who was the best from lap 70 to 100 won the race, and that was the kid. But Waddy was there. I mean, Ryan was there and had caught him. And Alex got through lap traffic better. But I think if we'd had a yellow with about 10 to go, I think Ryan Watt wins tonight. Waddy was very good at the end. And every time they had clean racetrack, he'd catch him. And then Alex, like I said, the best race car driver won tonight, which I think is what you want,
Yeah, you were talking about Dwayne Howard. It's funny because I was talking to Norm before the race, and Norm says, if we get a flat, we're bringing it in and loading it right up. We don't got any extra tires for this show. But, Dwayne was very strong tonight for somebody that hasn't run this track hardly at all. So he was impressed by the track.
The racing was awesome, but a credit to, our sprint cars. We had a slide job coming off of 4 for the win. The sportsmen, the last 2 laps, the top 2 were beating and banging. We had a controversial finish, but credit to both guys. I thought they were fair. They thought they handled things fairly well with the way things could have went, with the way that race ended. So they ended up 3 wide because Peyton Talbot drove underneath of them. Our first 4-cylinder and 8-cylinder race was 3 wide for second with the leader right from. The racing tonight was awesome all night. So it was. The modifieds were the show. The 100-lapper for Danny and everything was the show. But if you were here tonight, if you watched online, it was. The whole night was great, and we get to do it again tomorrow. We got the speedsters, the street stocks, the sportsmen, and the modifieds. We got another full show tomorrow. So I think we're. Well, how many features did we have last night? We had 3 last night, 5 tonight, and 5 tomorrow. So we're going to have 13 features in a weekend, and I think we're 6 for 8 so far on really, really good races. It's been a really fun weekend. I can't wait for tomorrow already.
Yeah. I missed the end of the sprint car features. I was in the pits doing some interviews and stuff, but I heard that got a little, at the end there, that got a little crazy right at the 10 too.
Yeah. Carlo Giovanni was leaning, and Ryan Smith was there, and on the longer run, Smith was starting to catch him, and then we had a yellow with 5 to go, and we ended up having a 4-lap dash. We had another yellow on lap 21, and Smith tried to set him up, and he threw a slide job, I think with maybe 3 to go, and Carlo Giovanni drove away from him, and Smith had one more shot in 3 and 4 coming to the checkered, and he threw it at him, and Carlo Giovanni turned underneath of him and beat him, and they had the top 2 in points for URC tonight. They entered the weekend 1 point apart. They ended up finishing 7th and 8th, 6th and 7th, something. They finished back to back, 8th and 9th. Yeah. They finished back to back. So there was drama everywhere in the sprint cars. The sportsmen racing for 3,000 to win. They showed it because they raced really hard. It was a fun night all around. And like I said, I can't wait for tomorrow because we're going to have over 40 modifieds tomorrow. I think we're going to get close to 40 sportsmen, the street stocks, and the speedsters. We're I don't know what else to say. Tomorrow's going to be awesome, just like tonight was.
I know. Maresco came down. Yes. Timmy Fuller came down. Yeah. Guys that are going to be here tomorrow. They didn't have nothing to do today. They just wanted to practice and race tomorrow. So, now I watched last night's race on Flow, and the track didn't seem as wide. It definitely was not as wide and as smooth as it was tonight.
I think the fact that we started at night, which we started in the daytime today, we started at night, which I don't think we've done all year. A typical normal Saturday night, you'll start as the sun's kind of going down, so you do have some sun on the racetrack. Last night it was dark and damp, so the track held water, I think, a lot more than it normally does, so it was heavier than normal. Plus the sprint cars were the first heat races. When the track's heavy, they have so much grip, they're going to run the bottom. It's just a short way around the track, so they threw all the fluff and everything, the marbles up on the top side. It never quite got one. The street stocks widened it out, but they'll run anywhere. They don't care. Yeah. Tonight, starting in the daylight, I think, helped dry it out, and the sprint cars got up to the top. We had the modifieds here to really beat the top down in hot laps, and the sprint cars got to the top early, and it set the tone for the rest of the night. It was track, like you said, the track was really good. Credit to Tobias and the gang, because a lot of people were worried after 100 laps with the modifieds. There's no way they're going to get the track back, and we never lost the track. Track was great all night. And we didn't take that long to prep it. I mean, after the modifieds, it was the one... but it was the one positive for the Yankowski deal was we had to take time to do that, and it gave the fans something to watch while Tobias is going around working on the track. Yeah. So we for as much bad luck as we had on Danny's actual weekend, we had things kind of played in Bridgeport's favor tonight, and it showed. I hope a lot of people at home on Flow watch, because they got a show, and I hope a lot of people are putting this racetrack on their bucket list.
Yeah, it was a fantastic night night altogether. Like, the modifieds obviously were the headline thing here tonight, but every division was great. I know I talked to some of the modified drivers before the races, and they were a little concerned about tire wear and all that, but they wore some tires out, but there wasn't that flat every other lap from people, so that really made it nice.
Yeah, I think when you come out for 100 laps, at least 2 of the tires are going to be gone. You're not using them again. So if you come out for a 100-lap feature, you're going to wear, I don't think there's a track in the country you're not going to wear tires over 100 laps. So yeah, like you said, the fact that we didn't have flat after flat after flat, we did it the Super Dirt Show, but a lot of those guys had never been here, and they all put on softer tires. Right. Tonight, we had the hard tires on. We made the hard tires a mandatory rule, and it worked out. The racing was great, and like you said, we had very minimal flat tires. And yeah, I think credit to Doug Rose for going out on a limb, going even harder than the 53s, making the D3Bs the mandatory right rear, and it worked out.
So we're wrapping it up here from Bridgeport Speedway, the Kingdom of Speed here. And once again, it was Alex Yankowski, your winner of the Danny Serrano 100 Memorial. Ryan Watts second, Ryan Godown third, Brandon Grasso, Danny Buck fourth, Jeff Strunk fifth, Frank Cozy, Mike Mahaney, Matt Stangel, Rick Lowback, and Billy Pouch rounded out the top 10. Well, I'm Ken Bruce from Dirt Track Digest. I'm here with Chris Moore, parking lot attendant and announcer for Bridgeport Speedway. Thanks, Chris. We appreciate you coming on here and giving us your thoughts, and wish you good luck tomorrow.
Thanks, Kenny. We need it. We had a lot of luck tonight, so hopefully we have a little bit more left for tomorrow.
And one more thing before we go. We want to say this race was for Danny Serrano, and we know Danny's watching down, from the top, from above in heaven, and he would have been so proud of everything that happened today, and I know he's smiling up there having a beer probably. But we appreciate you, Danny. We miss you, along with a lot of other people we've lost this year in this 2020. We've lost a lot of racing people this year, and it sucks. But for Danny, this one's for you, buddy.
Yeah, the best thing I can say was we got the race he deserved, 100%. We got the race the whole night tonight, but we got the modified 100-lapper was the race that Danny deserved, and I'm glad we got that.
Once again, I'm Ken Bruce from Dirt Track Digest with Chris Moore, and have a good night.